Lord forgive me for this trap shit. Sergeant Smack make it backflip. Telly Hank did with the action. With the vital speaking Spanish. Frank Matthews how I vanish. Poof. Came back like I'm King Tut. Gold BBS is on a beamer. When Fat Cat was 10 queens up. Ball off the profit, not the re-up. Fly like Puerto Rican Jesus. Uptown like I'm Baby May. Just caught a touchdown from the Bay.
We're gonna show y'all how to do the crunchy black Memphis Gangster Walk dance. Check it out. Oh, oh, it's your birthday. Oh, go crunchy. It's your birthday. It's your birthday. Go crunchy. It's your birthday. 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 Now stop. Now freeze. What's going on with that? Yeah. Right.
The Gangster Walk, the iconic Memphis dance made famous by 3-6 Mafia member Crunchy Black. What if I told you it was a time in history where gangsters didn't just look mean at the party, but they danced and had a good time? On top of that, what if I told you no crime family in their city would affect the music scene more than the Bovans?
Yeah, we had a reputation back then. We stuck very close together. Me and my sisters, as we do now, is 6 girls and 1 boy. So we always have stuck together, you know, from childhood up. And we had a reputation for getting money, you know. People knew us, they knew what we were about, and they knew that, you know, where our name was mentioned, money was involved.
My name is Linda Mims. I'm your Gotti's aunt. His mom is my sister. I was in the streets, like, selling drugs, got a conspiracy case, and still to this day, I still got the hustle in me. I'm gonna tell you, for me, I just thought that me hustling was taking care of my family.
Whenever you talking about family and shit that really happened, like these facts, like it's not like some shit that sound good or metaphor, these actual facts. So it's the really shit I wrote. Yeah, I mean, like she used to tell me, even in different formats, like when she found out I was hustling, she let me know what come with that. You know, this Fed time, this state time, and you gonna do it. If you get caught with it, if you get caught up, you going to jail and you gonna do your time and you ain't telling on nobody. Ain't no sucker shit going on. Like, you gonna be a man, you gonna hold yours down, and this how this shit go. Feds kicked in my door like, it probably like 6 or 7 in the morning because it was still kind of like dark outside. They had us all in the living room floor and they ramshacking the houses, tearing up the houses, searching. I'm talking about I'm young and I'm like, damn, why they looking in the cereal box? My mama wasn't there, my cousin was there babysitting us. So they kept trying to ask us where she was at. We knew where she was at, you know what I'm saying? But I ended up telling them she was out of town. So I'm like, you know, she at the airport to just throw them off because I knew she wasn't out of town, you know what I'm saying? We go from living in White Haven behind Elvis' house to having Benzes, Audis, Jeep Cherokees. We probably had 7, 8 cars. You know, houses in Vegas, to police come one day. Everybody seems to go to jail. Next thing you know, we got like first we had a Cavalier. You know, then we were happy to get the Nissan Sentra, like from the Cavalier, you get what I'm saying? Right. And we moved to some apartments out in North Memphis. So it's like you talking about a whole different life changing.
Those apartments being Ridgecrest Apartments, located at 2570 Woodcliff Drive in Memphis, Tennessee. The apartment complex receives a stellar 2.5 out of 5 stars on Google reviews. But as we all know, reviews can be misleading. So sometimes you just have to go to the comments, and the most relevant comment from Keisha Claiborne, or quote, beautiful manifestation, will leave a comment 7 months ago saying, heck no, I bet not live in these apartments. I'd rather live in my car in a very safe area. So when Gotti say life-changing in that clip, y'all better believe that shit. Yo, what up though? Shay's Popalot. Salute the almighty mob. We on our way to Tennessee with it. Y'all already know to meet us in Memphis. We definitely covering legendary events in the city. Now, in the 1980s, it was a family, well, two if you want to consider the Mem sisters, that would rise and I don't want to say dominate the drug game in Memphis, but would definitely make a name for themselves, unlike any other family would in the city. Now, don't get me wrong, they do have some notorious families to come out of Memphis, like the Woods brothers, Ronnie and Bernard, who just as recently as May of 2019 would be caught up in a 7-month drug sting where 38 people would be indicted. But with the Bovans, especially Eric, it would be different because they would set trends in the city that still resonate to this day. Now, when you talk about Memphis, you got to talk about barbecue, you got to talk about Elvis, and then it's the Gangster Walk. Now, according to Google, Gangster Walk would be a street dance that was originated in Memphis, Tennessee in the early 1990s. They would say it's often performed to crunk music because of the beat's bounce and the dance's movement. But in the 1990s, we didn't have crunk music. Now it's a lot of speculation to exactly where this dance have started, with other references saying it's also known as G-walking, bucking, chopping, ticking, and jugging. Some mention a person by the name of Capital D and a group by the name of G-Style when the origins of gangster walking comes up, but it is widely speculated that the dance was created by the Bovans themselves in Memphis's infamous Club No Name. Though they would go on to own their own club called Mr. B's, it would be at Club No Name where the dance that we know now as the Gangster Walk would start off as the Bovan Walk. And you can check out videos on YouTube to show that the dance has been done for decades with people adding different variations to it, with nobody doing it better than the person that I would say that popularized it to the world, Crunchy Black. But the Bovans were not only players on the club scene, they was heavy players in the drug game. And in 1989, they would be indicted with Eric Bovan being believed to be the ringleader. The feds would allege that their drug distribution network, which stretched from Memphis all the way to Los Angeles and revolved around the nightclub that they would purchase, Mr. B's, that was owned by the Bovan family. The Bovans will also have a close connection to one of, if not the most notable rap star to come out of Memphis, Yo Gotti, with his aunt Janet being married to Eric Bovan, with another one of his aunts, Lisa-Faye, also playing a huge role in the conspiracy. Y'all just think about it like this. Y'all heard about all that shit that Gotti said that his mom would have 7 and 8 cars outside the house? I couldn't see anywhere where she was even mentioned in the indictment. So you could just imagine how the ringleader was moving. Though I didn't see Gotti's mom mentioned, it's not to say that his family didn't pay a price. His aunt, Lisa-Faye, who was said to play an integral role in the conspiracy, would end up being sentenced to 84 months or 7 years. The conspiracy would run smooth in the 1980s, bringing in drugs from the West Coast and making millions of dollars in Memphis. But it would take a turn towards the end of the 1980s when the police would get help from a snitch, a guy by the name of Earl Woods. And based on information that he would provide, the feds would become aware of a house that the Mems family, who is Yo Gotti's family, would own on Monette Street in Memphis that was being used in the cocaine distribution operation. They would place the house under video surveillance. And as the house was being surveilled, it would show co-conspirators, Eric Bovan, as well as his wife and Yo Gotti's aunt, Janet Mims Bovan, entering the house on September 17, 1987, along with the government's confidential informant, Earl Woods. Woods would go on to testify in the case and explain that he had accompanied both Eric and Janet Mims Bovan to the house and that they carried out a briefcase that would contain money, testifying further that Janet Mims would give him a sack containing $25,000 to $40,000, saying that they actually counted together, and when they're done, The combined total was around 100,000 to 170,000. He would also testify about another occasion where he would drop off a bag containing 7 kilograms to Yo Gotti's Aunt Janet. And when this case hit the fan, it got ugly, with Eric's own family, Anthony Bovan, testifying that he met members of the conspiracy at the Mims house and that he picked up 75 to 100,000 at the house. And not that matters could get any worse, but during the surveillance, the feds would videotape several people leaving the Mims house with plastic bags containing white powdered substances. Eric Bovan would be convicted and sentenced to 10 years without parole on his conspiracy. And just a few years into his sentence, the Washington Post would publish an article written by Robert Howe titled Crown Jewels of the Rich and Tasteless, where you would get a slight glimpse of how much money the Bovans was making and how flashy the ringleader of the conspiracy, Eric, was. We heard about Yo Gotti talk about the houses in Vegas and the trips that he would take to Vegas. The U.S. Marshals would have an auction in Crystal City where they would auction off some of Eric Bovan's property, one of which being a necklace and pendant, with the pendant being studded with 229 diamonds and 84 rubies that would spell out Las Vegas Eric. Now you would think that after making all of that money and serving a 10-year bid, Eric was going to come home and lay low. But in 2009, he would find himself in another situation where he would become embroiled in a prescription drug trafficking operation. He would get caught up in a sting with the DEA in October of 2009 as he would leave the office of a doctor by the name of Daniel Fairnow. Now, unbeknownst to Eric Bovan, Dr. Fairnow was already the primary target of a long-term DEA investigation. Authorities just happened to be watching his office when Eric Bovan would drive up and be caught up in the middle of a sting. Now, when authorities stopped his car, he would be found with 25 prescriptions for drugs like Xanax, Lortab, and hydrocodone. The prescriptions were said to be obtained by Dr. Fairnow, who provided them to Eric Bovan for $45 each. It was said that Eric Bovan would cooperate with authorities in that case, and I would also see that him and his former wife and Yo Gotti's Aunt Janet would file for divorce sometime around 2018. So when you talk about a family that affected the music culture in their city, I don't think it's one bigger than the Bovans. But if it is, y'all definitely get in the comment box. Y'all let me know. Y'all hit the red bell and subscribe button right under this video so y'all know when this real trill spill shit is dropping. Y'all get in the comment box below. Y'all flooded. Let me know what cities we need to go to, what stories we need to tell, what we missed, what we got wrong. Y'all hit me directly, Instagram, Twitter, POP_A_LOT. Until the next time, y'all know the rundown. Shades Popalot. Salute the almighty mob.